Bellwright is a medieval RPG survival game with settlement building, combat exploration, automated crafting, and villager management. But is it any good? Well, I think so. Stick around and I'll tell you why. Establish and expand your own settlement, liberate the lands and assist its villagers, and recruit others to your cause while learning more about a life you had to leave behind. Command your forces, prove your valor through combat, and cement yourself as a hero of your people. That's how the developers Donkey Crew describe Bellwright on the Steam page. In a nutshell, it's a medieval RPG with character creation, voiced narrative with quests, lore, world building, crafting, settlement building and management, combat, army management, and pretty sizable map to conquer to boot. The TLDR of the story is you were accused of a murder you didn't do when you were a child, fled somewhere far away to grow up. Now you're back to find the real murderer, confront the evil queen and why you were framed. It won't win any awards, but it's good enough to give you a purpose in the game. It's good enough seems to be the overall theme of my first impressions here. Every aspect of the game seems to be good enough. I've spent just about 3 hours in game to give you my first impressions, so before I go any further, please keep that in mind. This is also a beta version of the game, so there will be changes before release. Bellwright is a slow, atmospheric game about building your small empire, and 3 hours is barely enough to scratch the surface of what's on offer here. Still, let's go through what I like. Visually, the game is good. The graphics here are on Ultra, and you can see it's a pretty game. It's not the best I've seen, but it's certainly no slouch. The village here certainly seems to fit the narrative and the time period, and the general level of clutter and activity around it certainly made me feel immersed in the world. Outside the village, the wild is nothing new. Anyone with some game experience will be instantly familiar with the temperate forest or meadow style map. It's pretty big though. And in the 3 hours that I had to play the game, I only managed to explore a tiny fraction of it. The story and narrative, it's okay. I think some of the voices are done by AI and they feel kinda lackluster.
I have a duty to my village first and foremost. I need to know who you are and why you came here.
But that being said, some of the characters I like and others I don't, which is what an RPG should be striving to do. So I'll say they've done it pretty well with it so far. What I really like is the building system. This includes shelters, houses, benches, pretty much everything. Sure, it's fixed assets and you can't build like block builders like in Shrouded or Minecraft or 7 Days to Die or anything like that, but it's not that kind of game. The assets are really nice, lots of detail, and the process of actually building them is quite rewarding. Seeing each beam added as you contribute resources and being able to build and lay out your whole settlement in one go, then just add resources to it seemed like a great way for me to set goals and then work to achieve them. The overall loop of settlement building felt good. And that leads me on to the next great thing, automation. Once you get some people to come and live in your settlement, they can work for you. Set them to work and they will carry out tasks around the settlement. I only managed to get the one guy from the quests, but still he helped research, cook, craft, build. Later I got a forager hut, gave the hut some orders, and he came and started filling them. Once you get woodcutters and a mining hut and forager hut, you can pretty much automate the building of any other building. Then it's just a case of getting more villagers to help speed things up. Overall, the world just felt nice to be in. Just take a listen of the ambient sound here. It's pretty nice just to be in. Like, Bellwright isn't a fast game. You're going to expect things to go pretty slowly at the beginning. And you're going to be taking a long time just to build up your first settlement and get your first few followers. After that, I don't know. I didn't have that much time in the game. But I suspect you're going to be unlocking more buildings, more recipes, better armors, more things to go and gather, and so on and so forth. You know how these things go. The loop will expand. But like I said, I quite enjoyed the loop as what I experienced so far. So the graphics are good, the sounds are good, the general overall gameplay is good. Alright, what didn't I like? Some of the things that irked me are classic symptoms of early access. Clunky UI nonsense, awkward animations, impassable concrete cats, and invisible walls. I will also say that I can't interact with the cats in the village here, and that really, really ticked me off. Just let us pet the cats, for crying out loud. Others are a little bit more serious. Combat. Quite a big part of the game, and I will admit that perhaps I just had not got the hang of it yet. But generally I felt it lethargic, awkward in animations, and the direction attack block system, well, I've never really liked that mechanic in other games anyway, so yeah, maybe I'm biased against it already. Still, it just felt laboured and a bit of a chore. I did only fight wolves in the time that I had though, and they don't really swing, so it's not easy to block them when you've just got a stick. So inevitably, they killed me. A few times. Don't worry though, if you do die, you respawn at your shelter, assuming you have one, and you go back to your bag and collect your dropped stuff. Bellwright is an RPG, right? So RPGs have character creation. Except this one was very disappointing. Character creation here, there's so few options available, I kind of wish they actually left it out. It really felt pointless. I couldn't really customize my character, you just had a few faces and a few hairstyles and that was it, off you go. It's almost like, what is the point? Just dive straight into the game at this point. I really hope they actually add to this and really add some detail and refinement to the character creation when they release the game, because right now it's just pointless. But to be honest, that's pretty much all I didn't like about the game. There were some things with the UI. The UI is good, it's not bad. But, you know, I did overlook some of the tabs in the journal. And it did take me a little while to find where flax grew. Other things to note is food is a thing, but it doesn't kill you if you don't eat. It's more kind of like Valheim, you eat to gain stamina. But from what I can tell, that's it. Most of the time I didn't even bother eating at all. Unlike other games, eating does not restore health. And the only way to restore your health, as far as I know, was to sleep. Not great if you wake up to a wolf attack, as you can't actually then sleep until it's nighttime again. Food is actually more important to your villagers and settlers. You need to keep up a steady flow of food into your settlement, or they will just stop working and go and find something to eat instead. So, my overall first impressions. Despite the few janky complaints, I actually really enjoyed Bellwright. It's a slow game, but the atmosphere is just nice to be in and spend some time in. The progression is enjoyable, and working to automate those repetitive tasks with villagers is incentive enough to build and continue playing. The story, quests, narrative and characters, so far they're okay. Nothing special, but not bad. But I am keen to continue playing. I want to explore the rest of this world, and I want to continue to build up my settlement, build up an army, and start taking on the lords of the land. And sure, if I find out who framed me and why along the way, great! But for me, Bellwright is all about that kind of settlement building and building your little empire up. I'm hoping as I get more into the game, I'll start picking up bows and arrows and stuff. That's something I didn't get in the 3 hours that I had with the game. And there doesn't appear to be anything about like mounts or horses yet. I don't know if that might be coming in a much later version down the line, but it would kind of fit the whole, you know, scene they're kind of setting here in the medieval Europe. But yeah, I like it. I definitely want to carry on playing. And I'm looking forward to this one coming out properly. And hopefully along the way, they can fix some of those little janky, niggly problems I have with it. You can play Bellwright solo, or you can bring up to 4 players along. So 4 in total, I should clarify that. I know certainly having a few extra hands is going to make that early game much quicker and easier to get through. Bellwright's going to early access, and you can wishlist it on Steam now. The release date is coming soon. We don't actually have a confirmed date yet, but just hit that wishlist button and keep an eye on it if you're interested. Speaking of which, what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. Is this one you're going to be interested to pick up, keep an eye on? Also, is it something you'd like to see more on my channel? Happy to stream or even do Let's Play on this. Perhaps I can wrangle some friends to play with me. Do let me know in the comments down below either way. In any case, if you did enjoy this video, first of all, thank you very much for watching. If you're new here, consider absolutely decimating that subscribe button. And as always, I do appreciate a cheeky little like. Hopefully, I'll see you next time. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.